Hey everyone, George here. This is Western Wednesday number 17. I hope everyone is doing well and staying safe. Today I am going to review Bone Tomahawk. This film came out in 2015 and is directed and written by S. Craig Zahler, and it stars Kurt Russell, Patrick Wilson, Richard Jenkins, and Matthew Fox. You also have Sid Haig and David Arquette early in the movie, and it's a great cast of characters in a very methodically and slower paced kind of western with really brutally intense and crazy moments of horrific violence. And this is definitely a western horror, guys, because when it gets brutal, it gets really, really brutal. I love this pulpy kind of movie. S. Craig Zahler is a great writer, and he also directed and wrote Brawl in Cell Block 99 as well as Dragged Across Concrete, which I love both movies. I think Dragged Across Concrete is an amazing movie. And this film, to me, is probably the best Western of the 2010s. This film packs a punch, and the acting is fantastic. The writing is fantastic. When it gets intense, it really gets intense, and it really pumps it up. There's some scenes in this movie that are absolutely brutal. There's this crazy scene in like the third act of the movie where a man gets like dismembered, and it's probably one of the most brutal scenes out there. And the practical effects of this movie are really, really good. So this film is about Kurt Russell's character, who's the sheriff in this town, and then you have Richard Jenkins, who plays like a deputy, and you have Patrick Wilson, who's a foreman and who's crippled up, and he has a wife. And then what happens is that one of Kurt Russell's deputies and Patrick Wilson's wife, they end up getting kidnapped by a cannibalistic and crazy indigenous tribe. So Kurt Russell gets this ragtag group of people with Richard Jenkins, Patrick Wilson, and Matthew Fox. They're along for this journey in order to stop this indigenous tribe and to safely rescue the other deputy as well as Patrick Wilson's wife in the movie. This film is really, really awesome. Honestly, like, S. Craig Zahler did a fantastic job with this movie in the way he wrote it. This film is beautifully written. He's one of those writers where he's like Tarantino and Aaron Sorkin, where just natural conversations are so entertaining because they're so rich with its dialogue, and it's very naturalistic, and it's very just really great writing. The acting across the board is fantastic. So you have David Arquette and Sid Haig early in the movie, and right off the bat you know how brutal this movie can be when you have David Arquette trying to cut a man's throat with a really dull knife, and it's pretty brutal, and it kind of really makes you think like, oh, this is what we're getting into with this movie.
We're making a 5-day journey in 3 days, riding along and sleeping the bare minimum.
So, Bone Tomahawk, the third act of this movie, it's grade A stuff. It's a very slower paced Western, and it really makes you feel like you're on this journey, and I think it does it really well. So, Bone Tomahawk, I would give it a 10 out of 10. It's my personal favorite Western out of the 2010s by far, and this movie came out in 2015, which you had The Hateful Eight as well as The Revenant out that year, and those two movies are fantastic, but Bone Tomahawk is my personal favorite. And yeah, Bone Tomahawk, I definitely recommend it, and it fits that October mood, and it's a very horrific movie at times, and a very brutal movie, so if you're not really into that kind of stuff, you might want to stray away from it. However, it's a very westerny kind of movie at its core. It's about this ragtag group, and it really fits that Western genre for sure, with really brutal moments peppered in the movie. I highly recommend Bone Tomahawk. So next week, we are going to talk about, I'll give you guys 3 reviews for next week. We're going to be talking about the Sabata trilogy, so this should be a lot of fun, guys. So I will catch you all next week for the Sabata trilogy. We're getting that trifecta going, guys. So I will see you all next time. Bye.